Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas and welcome to the 30-second video in a series of game development tutorials on how to make your own Resident Evil style game in Unity. This tutorial will be covering a more advanced visual menu setup with background and audio. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload. Feel free to leave a comment and drop a like. I also have a Patreon page where you could help be a part of this channel, and you'll also find all the scripts and the assets to this series there too, along with plenty of other things. You can also now join as a free member. Now, on with the tutorial. So up to now we have a very simple looking main menu, and the idea of what I want to do here is I want to add in some background music to it. I want to make it look cool. I want to get these buttons working. The idea of one of them not being programmed but not actually working until the full executable is built, but I'll explain a little bit more further on in this video. So first and foremost, let's import some audio into our main menu. So I'm going to go to the audio folder and go into music, and I'm going to drag and drop this audio file. And as always, you can go to the pinned comment or link in the description and you can go and download this for free. So next I'm going to go to main menu controller here, right click, and I'm going to go to create empty, and we'll call this BGM, M for mother, short for background music. And then I'm going to drag and drop this onto here. And I am going to have play on awake ticked and loop ticked as well. And it's up to you whether you want to play around with some of the pitch. I'm going to have mine pitched at half, just to give a bit more of a slower, eerier kind of feel. Next thing I'm going to do is actually turn this off, weirdly enough. So it's going to go off up there. The idea is that we are going to turn on this music when we are actually entering our main menu. So for example, when we fade into the menu. Next thing, let's actually create something in the background. So let's go to where our camera is. And we need to create something that our camera is looking at. And the great thing is, because we already kind of have things set up in our other scenes, we can use the cameras from those scenes to actually be useful in this scene. So what we'll do is let's firstly go to game object. Let's go to 3D object and let's go to cube. Let's set the cube position as 0, 0, 0. And let's make it quite large. So let's make it maybe 20 by 20. And then let's go to our materials and let's drag and drop this wall onto here and rotate it 180. What does our camera see? Our camera sees that wall. Okay, excellent. So now let's move this backwards and across. Let's hold Control, press D to duplicate, bring this to here and snap them together. Looks like we need to do a little bit more work on this. You should probably take a bit more time than what I'm doing with this. But essentially what I'm going to do is make these probably 30 across. That should do. Let's move this one to here. Essentially, all I want to have here is just being able to see this wall. Let's pan our camera down. Oops, make sure we are on the camera. Pan the camera down to make sure that that is what we want it to see. That's fine. So next, let's insert a floor. So let's hold Control, press D on this cube here. And let's change it to be 30 on the Z or Z and 1 on the height. Bring it down to around about there so as it snaps together to the wall. Drag and drop the floor. Hold Control, press D and bring it over here. And we should be able to see now that we have some kind of main menu starting to look more like a main menu. Cool. Now, I did mention about the cameras that we could reuse from the other scenes. So let's go and do that. Let's save our main menu now. Head back to scene view, go to the scenes folder. Let's go to area 2. Let's use the camera from there. Let's take camera 2. So let's copy and let's go to our main menu and then let's paste it into the hierarchy and let's pivot it around so it looks at the correct area that we've just built, which is around about there. Pull it out, bring it down, pan it round a little bit more to round about there. Let's turn off the main camera, so untick up here. And it will go kind of crazy, but we'll need to keep this main camera just for now so we can build a bit more. Let's go to canvas, let's go to black back, let's turn it on, and this should look a bit wild as we play. But you'll see the idea of what we've done here, use a camera already set up for this. And that's the great thing. And it means that if we turn off the directional light, we can see it starts looking a bit more like what we would want to see from this. So what we'll do is we will indeed turn off the directional light. Let's go to Window, Rendering, and go to Lighting. And then let's go to the environment and let's turn down the intensity multiplier just a touch. And let's remove the skybox altogether. So let's click the little button next to skybox and select None. And let's see how that looks. It should look very, very dark, but this is where we can use it to our advantage now with lighting. So it does look very dark. So let's go to Game Object, let's go to Light, and let's go to Point Light, I think. We'll have a point light. And we'll play around with the point light just a little bit to see if we can get it looking kind of cool, I guess. You know, you should obviously take a lot more time than what I do here. But you can already see that the light is having an effect on the ground itself. So let's increase the range to 100. And that may just do the trick. How's it look in the game view? Should be okay. Let's turn the black back off into the game view. I think we should probably stick with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in just an object as well on the main menu. So let's go to... I can't think what we actually had in here. I'm trying to find the correct... I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do what we've done with the camera. Let's save this scene now. Let's go to Scenes and let's go to Area 2 again. Let's take this Barrel Blue and Barrel White. So we'll take them two. Not Barry White, Barrel White. Copy. Main menu. Click End Hierarchy. Paste. And then let's just drag and drop these into roughly where we would see them within the scene. So I'm going to put the blue one probably about there. And the white one, let's put that somewhere there. I'm not happy with the blue one being there. It's like it's covering the text. There we go. Let's bring the white one forward a touch. How's that look? Cool. Yeah, I think we'll stick with that. But what you should definitely do is take way more time creating this main menu. Just way more time. Next, what we'll do is add in a kind of a logo. And all I'm going to do with this is just add in just some font at the top for now to tell us our game name. So let's go to Game Object, let's go to UI, let's go to Text, back to Scene View, and double click on the text. And I'm going to call this, what can we call it? Text Logo. I'm going to place it above the black back, right there. And for now, let's turn on our main camera up here, just so the screen isn't glaringly white. And back on the text logo, let's anchor this to the top middle. Set the position as 0, 0. Double click. Let's zoom out and position it down a little bit more than where it is. So around about there. And I have this as mansion facility of badness. I don't know. That's something I've literally just created now. It's not in my script. It's just something. My script literally says, make a silly name for your game. And there we go. Mansion Facility of Badness. So I'm going to have this as a bright red colour. Let's have it bold. Do we add fonts? We haven't added fonts yet. We'll sort fonts in another tutorial. For now, I'm going to have this font size as 60. And let's increase the size like that. Let's get that in the center. How's that look? Mansion Facility of Badness. Ooh. We'll create something better a little later on. I'd like to think that you're going to take the time to create something much better at this point. But the idea is I just want to have a logo for our game. So let's turn back black on. Jack Black on. There we go. And next thing that we want to do is modify our actual code, because we need to add in the ability to turn on the audio. So let's go to the scripts folder. Let's go to UI and let's go to the main menu function. And we need to add in the variable for the music. So serialize field. It's not an audio source. It's just going to be the game object that the audio source is attached on. And what we're going to call it is just BGM. And the idea is we're just going to turn the object on because it auto plays. So when we fade in down here, we've got fade in, .set active false. We need to go before that. We want the music to start playing as we're fading into the main menu. So we need to go between the get component animator and this yield return new wait for seconds. And what we'll say is bgm.set active in brackets true with a semicolon. Save. Just a couple lines of code extra. That's all we need here. Because all we're doing is just adding in the music into this code and telling the code to play it. So back into Unity, give it a moment just to compile. And when it's done that, we can select the main menu control and tell it that that's our BGM. So let's test this now, and then we'll get our buttons working. So press play. And this should be okay. There we go. And obviously it looks like it does because we don't have the main camera. There we go. That's how it should be. So theoretically we can turn the main camera off the next time we play test it and it will look perfect. Next thing, let's get these buttons working. So there's two buttons I want to focus on. The first one is start new game and the other is quit game. We can deal with load game a little later on. So let's go back to our script, and what we'll do is we need to create some methods. So below the update method, we'll say public void start game, close bracket, open curly bracket. And then below that, we'll say public void quit game, close bracket, open curly bracket. And in quit game, we're going to say application.quit. Two brackets, open close, and then semicolon. And start game. What we'll do is we need to now create another coroutine. That coroutine is going to use that back black again, and we're going to fade out. So let's go to below the splash to menu and have I enumerator, and we'll call this start new game, close bracket, open curly bracket. And then we can say fade in dot get component in spiky brackets animator, close bracket, dot play, and in brackets and quotes, name of our animation in this case is going to be fade out. But you're saying at this point, Jimmy, we turn the fade in off. You are absolutely correct. So before we even play that animation, we've got to say fade in dot set active and in brackets true, semicolon. Now what we do is we say yield return new wait for seconds and in brackets 2 semicolon. And because we're going to be using Scene Manager, remember we need to add it to the namespace at the top. So we say using Unity Engine .scene management with a semicolon. So it means that after 2 seconds we're going to load scene 1, which is the start of our main game. So we can say scene manager .load scene and in brackets 1 and save that script. So obviously this isn't going to fully work quite yet, but I wanted to save it because I just feel saving is probably wise all the time. The reason I say that is because I've recently been working with Visual Studio and I'd written some code and it just decided it was going to crash. So I've gotten into the habit lately of saving even though the script isn't complete because there's still things we need to do here. I am going to get rid of void update because I don't think we'll need it, at least not anytime soon. But I want to kind of go over what I've done here. So, quit game, application.quit. Whenever we apply this to our button, it's not going to quit the game because there's nothing to quit, because this isn't an application, this is the engine that we're playing in. However, when we build the actual executable file for the game, this will work as intended. And what we've done is we have the method start game, which we intend to run this coroutine, which will be fade in, set active is true, so it comes on. Then we play the fade out, and after 2 seconds, we take ourselves to the main game. So in order to get all of that functioning, we need to say start coroutine, and in brackets, the name of that other coroutine, which is start, what was it? I forgot what it's called now. Start new game. Start new game, close bracket, semicolon, and save once again. So for all intents and purposes, this script is going to grow and grow and grow the more and more we build our actual main menu, because it is the fundamental core of everything that's going to happen in the main menu. So we don't need to add any more variables, but what we do need to do is make sure our buttons are going to function as they should. So let's go to the play new button, scroll down, and list is empty. Let's click the plus, and then let's drag and drop main menu control. Let's go to no function and tell it we want main menu function, and we want to start game. And we need to go to the quick game and do the exact same thing again. Main menu control. Click plus, drag main menu control, click on no function, click main menu function, and then go on quick game. And that should work quite nicely. So I'm going to save the scene. In fact, I'm going to turn off main camera first, then save. And let's test this all out. So let's press play. And so far so good. And the audio should start. Yep, perfect. Mansion Facility of Badness. And we can hover over our buttons. And you can see if we do press quick game, nothing happens. It is attached, but like I say, it will only work in the full executable. So now let's go to start game. Cool, and there we go. So our main menu is now linking to our game. And obviously there's other things that you've got to do when it comes to creating a main menu. And that's what we're going to do in the next tutorial. We're going to add the ability to select a difficulty before we go into the game. So we'll have some extra little pop-up that can say play on easy, normal, hard, nightmare, whatever. So remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial still to come in this series. And I'll see you next time.